Hello, everybody. I'm the official urban therapist, and welcome to another episode of Lunchtime Conversations. You know what? Before I start, and I actually had missed y'all yesterday. I was intended to go live yesterday, but to be honest with y'all, like always, I'm very busy. So yeah, I'm very busy. So yesterday I was just so tired, so I just needed time to rest. But nevertheless, I'm here with y'all today with this on the exciting and interesting topic that we're going to talk about today, this lunchtime conversations. Okay, so I don't want to hold y'all up. Let's go ahead and jump into this topic right now. All right. So it has come to my knowledge that you have been rejected. Yeah, that you actually been rejected. Now, I can imagine how the way you feeling by rejection. I could trust me. I understand it. A matter of fact, Urban could count countless of times where he has been rejected as well, or certain situations where if it's job opportunities, rejection, relationship opportunities, rejected. Other type of opportunities as well, rejected. So I can honestly understand and sympathize and empathize how the way you feel about rejection. Because to be honest with you, rejection is another one of them common human experiences that everybody will experience. Everyone is experiencing. No one's exempt for being rejected for some form, shape, or fashion or another. It always happens. It always going to occur. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. All right. But the thing about rejection is this: rejection, it actually should be able to teach you. It should be able to teach you on certain things about yourself. Rejection, it should be able to either strengthen you, or rejection should be able to weaken you as well. Just depending on how the way you receive rejection. So today, in this particular episode, this lunchtime conversation episode, I want to just briefly talk about rejection. Okay, that I want to share with you some things that I do personally to overcome rejection, because the whole point of it is that once when you receive any type of rejection, the whole point is that you have to learn to master it or learn to overcome it. Because if you don't learn to overcome rejection, then it could turn into something greater, which is certain mental disorders. All right, which I'm not going to talk much about the one mental disorders about that right now, and I'll leave that for another discussion for another time due to time restraints. But let's dive into this. All right, dive into rejection. All right. Now, just to put it in simpler terms, on if you don't know, rejection is just a simple definition of rejection is something that you desire or you want to happen, and it just don't turn out to be the way that you desire to be, or how the way you imagine, or how the way you work for it to be. Period. That's pretty much my short end definition about what rejection is. Now, there are several different ways people can be rejected. People could be rejected socially, which is, that's the mainly the area that I cover, since I'm also striving to be a sociologist. Is that form of rejection? There's social rejection. There's mental or psychological rejection. There's what else? I guess income rejection, job rejection. There's different levels of rejection that you will experience in your lifetime. And I guarantee that each and every last one of y'all experience at least one of these type of rejections that I'm talking about right now, or probably all of them, at one part or another. So these things, as you can see, these things they do exist. They exist into one. our culture and our society and everything. This is there. It ain't nowhere around it. It's one of the things that's inevitable, that is going to happen one way or the other. Now, once again, like I stated earlier, um, it's very important for you to know how to effectively deal with rejection. Now, there's some people who never been taught how to really deal with rejection. Like say for example, um, a man approach a woman, right? And he'll approach this woman, and she end up rejecting him. This particular man emotional response will be that he'll probably talk about her, he probably call her out of her name or do some extreme stuff. That deals with a person who don't know how to deal with rejection properly. Okay. Same thing like other situations too. Well, it could be something that person desire. Like they desire like a job or anything like that. They go through the whole process of trying to be qualified for the job, but turn out that you end up being rejected about that as well too and stuff. And so instead of effectively dealing with it, you end up creating a type of emotional response where it's more negative than positive for you. All right. So them particular type of rejections. In other words. So once again, Urban. I have been dealing with rejection, Urban. So what is it? What can I do to help cope with rejection? What can I do? Because when I feel this type of rejection, I feel inadequate. I feel incomplete. I have these emotions. Feel like that. Even though I did everything to my best of my ability, that I still failed at this, or I was rejected from this. How can I deal with coping through that? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. Now, this is how Urban deals with rejection. This is just me, from my personal perspective, how I deal with rejection. Y'all ready? Now, this is how Urban deals with rejection. Urban deals with rejection like this. First of all, what I do is that I embrace the rejection. I embrace it. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by embracing the rejection? What I do is that first of all, I figure out and understand the reason for the rejection. Wherever the reason is, I figure out and I understand the rejection. I ask certain questions about the rejection. I ask certain questions like, okay, why was this rejected to begin with in the first place? So I ask all these different type of targeting, not triggering questions, but targeting questions so I could get knowledge and understanding of why I was rejected in the first place. Now, of course, in certain situations, you won't be able to get them answers, which, that's understandable. I get that. But the first step with me with dealing with rejection is that, first of all, I understand where the rejection comes from. The second part is that when I understand it, I accept it. I accept it for what it is. For wherever the rejection is, I accept it. Then the final part about that is that not only I accept it, I embrace it. Yes, I embrace the rejection that happened to me. Yes, I do, absolutely. Because you got to understand that rejection is a part of the human experience. So all the type of emotions that you feel, I embrace that type of emotions. So if I'm feeling the emotion that's coming behind the rejection, that I'm feeling sad or disappointed or any of these type of emotions, feel like I did everything possible to accomplish a certain situation that just didn't go the way that it needed to go. I embrace all that emotion. I embrace it. I don't reject the emotion. I let everything come into me, everything. And I feel that feeling. And as I'm feeling them feelings, I'm understanding the reason why I'm having these feelings and emotion. The reason why I'm having this emotion, why I'm feeling this way, why I'm feeling that way, is because I've been rejected this way, I've been rejected that way. And so I have every right to feel how the way I'm feeling right now. I have every right to feel rejected the way I am. I have that right to feel that way. So I'm embracing all of that. I'm embracing it all. Taking it all, taking on. Then finally, and this is most important part, well, what I do is after I embrace all the emotions and feelings and I accepted it for what it is, that's when I start learning how to cope with it. So what I do is finally I start figuring out new ways that I can approach the situation differently. Like maybe if I didn't approach it this way, maybe I should have approached it that way. Maybe if I didn't approach it that way, maybe I should approach it this way. Or, and this is important too, or maybe that particular thing that I was being rejected from was not a best fit for me mentally, spiritually. And that last part is very, very important too. The reason why that last part is very, very important and is very critical is because sometimes we be wanting things to happen and even the universe itself prevent it from happening. And in most cases, the reason why the universe prevent it from happening from you is simply because the universe sees something bigger than how the way you perceiving it. Or you could say if you're spiritual, or you could say that God see things bigger than how the way you see it. So that particular thing that you've been rejected from, maybe the reason why it's been rejected for because it's not meant for your divine purpose. It's not meant for you to be in that space or to be in that particular thing. Let me give y'all another example too. And we're gonna speak about relationships with this particular example, right? Let's say, for example, you see this person that's being that there probably potential for a good relationship where you could be not only in a good relationship with them, but you can actually be married to that person for XYZ years, whatever, right? But however, there be certain things that end up happening or certain stepping stones that end up happening that seems like it's preventing you from making that relationship happen or making that relationship successful. There'll be certain signs that come into the way, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes what happens is that even when the signs is there, even when certain signs or evidence is there, sometimes we be so focused on trying to be accepted that we look over the obvious signs and still trying to push hard for it. But in reality, it be either God or the universe that's trying to prevent you because God or the universe see a bigger potential thing that's happening with that situation that you're trying to push for. Maybe that person that you're trying to be with is a narcissist controlling person. But since you done gained some type of connection with this person, you thinking like, nah, it can't be that. Even though you see the signs. Even though you see the signs of it happening. Like, nah, it ain't what it is. It can even I'm using relationship, for example, but it can even be career-wise. It could be a certain job that you're trying to go for or whatever, and you pushing hard, you doing your due diligence, you did everything possible, and you know without a shadow of doubt that you qualify for this particular position, but some weird thing end up happening that is beyond your control. And you be trying to figure out, hold up, I know I'm qualified for this. I know I did everything. I know I did all my due diligence and everything about this to be qualified for this. So why was I rejected? Because Sometimes God or the universe see a bigger plan in store for you, and they know that that particular thing that you're going for may be a hindrance for your divine plan that's already been set in motion for you. Sometimes that's what it is. And sometimes that's why certain things come up. Certain things come up. Certain things come up to prevent it. But yeah, you thinking like, even like with religious people, sometimes they be thinking that, oh man, it got to be the devil. The devil does a stepping stone, getting in my way for accomplishing certain things. Sometimes it don't be the devil. Sometimes it actually be the universe that's trying to prevent you from doing something that's going to be a critical mistake in your life. And you want to know how I know? It's because I was one of those who did that. I was one of those who kept pushing for something to happen, knowing good and well I see the signs of it, but still want to push it because it became from me just not only want to be accepted, but it became more of a pride and ego thing for me. Why I just got to do it. I had to get it done. Just so I could satisfy myself or my self ambitions. Then when it comes around, it was the worst decision that I ever made in my life. And still dealing with that even till this day. And dealing with that till this day. So yes, sometimes the things that they're being rejected from, especially when it's beyond your control, sometimes is there purposely to protect you. Even furthermore, it's there to show you that there's something even more bigger. And if you were to acquire this thing that you're seeking for, it's going to prevent you from being in your divine purpose. It's going to hinder you. It's going to put you into a certain space where you don't need to be at. That's what's going to happen. So now y'all probably think about, well, Urban, is rejection. You make it seem like rejection is good for us. The answer is, yes, it is good for you. Rejection is good for you. Because once again, when you learn and understand what it is you're being rejected from, it should do one or two things. Either strengthen you or weaken you. But today, on this lunchtime conversation, I want your rejection to strengthen you. That's my desire. I want the rejection that you either are experiencing or have experienced. I want it to strengthen you into a way where it's going to cause you to elevate even further. It's going to cause you to be even more stronger. It's going to give you even more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, where it's going to better you. It's going to make you evolve even more into the one person that you're destined to be every single day. So not only that, but you also be a living example of a living life for others as well, who need to see it, who need to see that light, who need to see a person like you who has been rejected for things, even for something that you really strongly desired and was rejected from it. People need to see that light, see that person like, man, this dude was rejected by something extreme, but yet it still was able to overcome the odds, was able to overcome that. And look at where the person now. If this person could do this, surely I know that I can do this as well. So I'm gonna